Hello, everybody. Trust you're all doing well. Now, do you know of any residents who is stuck outside the United Arab Emirates for the past several months? Yeah, I think it's time for them to come back, but there's going to be a little bit of some hurdles, and I think it's a good time to discuss all of that because there is a series of rejections and a lot of people are going to lose their residency. So if you know of such a person, then you want to click the like button. You want to let them know that somebody is discussing the rejections and why they're going to continue. So stay here in the bulletin. I'm your presenter, Elizabeth Joga, and this is the QTV. On our top stories tonight, the Dubai residents who return to the UAE are required to follow quarantine guidelines or else face a hefty fine of up to 50,000 dirhams. The Emirates, the Etihad, the Air Arabia and Fly Dubai intend to operate over 60 flight destinations by August after easing of the flight restrictions on outbound and inbound travel to United Arab Emirates. However, all travelers are encouraged to check the rules of the country they are visiting to ensure whether they need to present a COVID-19 negative certificate upon arrival. And for people aged over 70 years with either chronic disease or health conditions are still advised not to travel. There is going to be a fine of 50,000 dirhams according to the resolution number 38 of 2020 on enforcement of penalties for violations by the Cabinet of United Arab Emirates, which was the 17th of 2020, that contained the spread of coronavirus, that is the COVID-19 pandemic, and it stipulates a fine of up to 50,000 dirhams to issue for non-compliance. The quarantine rules applies to all inbound passengers regardless whether they have a negative COVID-19 certificate or regardless of the circumstances. And for individuals who are returning without the same, their companies may be fined as well. When returning to the United Arab Emirates following the federal and local guidelines for the COVID-19, you must download the Al Hosm app, follow the UAE quarantine guidelines and test procedures, which vary depending on the destination that the traveler is coming from. This was explained by the National Emergency Crisis and Disaster Management, that is NCEMA. Also in Dubai airports, the smart gates have been opened starting today after the Dubai airports shared that on their social media platform, that is Twitter, that the smart gates have been opened for Terminal 2 and Terminal 3. It says that traveling to and from Dubai International Airport will be as easy as it was before the COVID-19. And now to our main feature, that is the ICA and rejection of the entry permits for those UAE residents that are stranded outside the United Arab Emirates. In this very bulletin, the QTV will be giving you more insight on the ICA rejections and approval, that is to do with your entry back inside United Arab Emirates, the pros, the cons, the questions that you need answered. We are all covering them up here in this bulletin. Does the ICA smart services apply to UAE residents? The answer is no, the service is not available. The answer is no, you need to find this approval through the GDRFA, that is the General Directorate for Residency and Foreigners Affairs website, which I will be leaving in the link below. I can't complete the application. It is required to give the name of a family member who is in the country. Well, in this case, you need to enter the details of someone who's currently here, that is your next of kin according to your documents, or you can as well enter the name of your sponsor. My request has been approved. What is the next point? Well, after getting your approval for your request, you need to book a return ticket through available airlines, and those only with entry permits are allowed to board a flight. So please do not attempt to force board yourself if you do not have the permit, and also to mention the permit is 21 days from the date of issuance. How can I check the status of my application? Well, you can check it on the GRDFA platform. Also, I will be leaving the link down below if that is necessary for you. How can I know when my application is approved? Normally, the approvals are sent through the email. That is the email that you used when you were applying for the entry permits. What are the procedures to be followed in case of a newborn baby outside of the country? Now, this is a very difficult one, but I had to find the answers for you. In case of a newborn baby, you'll be enabled to obtain an entry visa in conjunction with the mother, who has to be holding a valid residency and an entry permit. As simple as that. What is the validity of the entry permit, and what is the procedure if it exceeds the allowed period? Now, the validity is 21 days from the date of issuance. That is assuming today the 16th, it's 21 days. And if you don't use it within this time, you need to apply for another one. The next question, if the application is rejected, can a new application be submitted? The answer is yes. Usually the system will allow you to reapply after 72 hours, that is 3 days time. If the name is wrong on the passport and the information submitted on the application is correct, well, if you misspelled something, there is the data team who will correct that, and that is why they need a lot of things at the time that they issue your visa. So they have everything of you at their fingertips, starting from just your phone and number, your mobile phone. They have every information, so don't worry about that. The next question, what are the categories that meet the requirements for return to the country? Now, entry permits are given to all categories, with priority given to people who have family here, who work in critical sectors, let's say like communication, energy, health sector, and other top economic activities. I don't know what this means, but if you're not belonging to top economic activities, then you may want to hold on. The next question. My service was terminated at work due to my absence from the country. Can I apply or request return to the country? Now, the answer is no. The applications are accepted for those who are with active residency. So if your residency was cancelled, then you need to apply for a new residency while you're out there. And what I understood now, it may not be that easy to achieve that. So I hope I've answered all these pressing questions as far as the entry permit is concerned, and given you a little bit of highlight of what to expect as far as movement in and out of the country are concerned. Here at the QTV, we bring you answers to most of these pressing questions that the mainstream media strategically do not shed much light on. So if you have any further questions on your residence, on your visa, on your transition from one company to another, on your redundancy, you can always shoot them at us and we'll research and give you the answers accordingly. Thank you for tuning in to the QTV by Liz Njoga. I have been your presenter. My name is Elizabeth Njoga.